The way we connect with people changes because after me Maria, like after the hurricane, we got comfort and we were able to cope with the situation together. Like we
Mhm.
had warmth from community. Like we had all these this strength, this overwhelming strength to move forward. But it's because we felt so invested in each other's struggles because we had gone through those things as well. So it was this net of support because we were all joined by this awful event, and that's how we moved
Mhm.
past it. So now with COVID, the fact that we have to stay apart and help looks very different now because we can't, as you said, we can't go to each other's homes and give that emotional support. Like best we could do is hand over resources and stuff like that. But it's very different. Like it's like we're everyone's fending for themselves, and you know, like I said, that emotional toll that comes from that separation and not
Mhm.
having that sense of community. So it's very it's like the hurricane to an extent, that you know, hopelessness and um that question of how do we rebuild society from this, you know, how are we gonna come out from this, that same those same questions of having our the rug pulled from underneath us, you know, that same struggle, but viewed from very
Yeah.
different angles, like the way that we were moving into it is very different when and it needs to be. um Another of the things that I had mentioned before is the fact that, you know, our work was mainly focused on the injustices that came from that situation. And I feel like the government, our government, and in general government, got away with a lot of things because we weren't able to record them doing these things. Like there was no coverage of these things they were doing. We found that warehouse, and why was that possible? Because no one knew that those things were happening, and we didn't know that that we found that one in Arecibo, and then there was just one in Ponce and one in Guanica, and that there were all these places that had the storage areas, but it was because we you know, there was no way for us to track this information down at the time. But now with COVID, we're able to point fingers, I guess, more in a more um you know, we're more sure about it because we do have electricity and we do have the internet, and people aren't as limited to this information. Like there's access to all of this, so the you know,
Yeah.
it's we can hold these people accountable because we have the means to track the information now. So, and not to mention the fact that we all learned from the experience from Maria and the earthquakes. Like we know what these people are capable of, so we look out for these red flags, and when we see them, we call them out. And you can even tell that the government is very hesitant when presenting us with new information. Um, just just last press meeting, you could tell that there's that fear that something bad's gonna happen. Like with me Maria, that summer we pushed the governor out of office, and it was us. That was us as a community that was so affected by all of these things, and we all got together and we did that, and that unity, strength, like we had that, and we fought for what we thought was fair. And even though a lot of things haven't changed for the better, we still know what we want, and we're still pushing for these things to happen. So now you could tell that there's this hesitance to push our buttons because they know what we're capable of. And I feel like that would be a plus to COVID, the fact that um they know we're watching.